Thank you, thank you. Thank you all for coming tonight, and thank you to those of you watching the live stream. I'm Beth Frankowiak, the Director of Learning and Engagement here at Buffalo Toronto Public Media. Welcome to the Writers Contest Celebration 2025. I am so excited, and I want to thank a bunch of people. First of all, thank you authors for your excellent stories. We had such a good time reading all of your stories. And thank you parents, caregivers, any teachers, and others who encouraged and supported these writers. We really appreciate it. And I know that some of you came from far away. So we have 2 authors tonight here from Canada, and 1 came from New Jersey to be here. So thank you for making the trip. I also want to thank a special thank you to Denny's, who is the supporter of the 2025 Writers Contest. We really appreciate your support this year. There were so many great stories to read, as I said. I also want to thank all of our judges. We had an internal team for the first round of judging, and they were members of the Learning and Engagement and Marketing and Creative Services departments. So they were Samantha Kittinger, Stephanie Wozniak, Dallas Taylor, and Tia Brown. And then we had a special second round of external judges, and those were Dr. Barbara Irwin, Professor Emerita, Department of Communication, Canisius University, who was also the co-author of Creating Reading Rainbow, the untold story of a beloved children's series. And then our second special judge was Jackie Stapleton, Director, Educational Television and Public Broadcasting, New York State Education Department, Office of Cultural Education. So now we can begin hearing all of the stories, and this is how it's going to happen. I will call the authors up by grade level, and we'll hear each author read their story. We will start with honorable mention, and we'll work our way up to first place winners. And we'll start with kindergarten, and we'll work our way up to 3rd grade. We will pause between grade levels, so we'll have the authors stand up here on the stage, and their families can come up and snap a few quick photos while they're up here on stage. And with that, can I please have the kindergarten authors on stage? So that's Benjamin, Lillian, Juniper, and Juliet. And you're going to come on up, and you're going to just have a seat until I call you to read your story. Use the stairs, please. Everyone pick a seat. Okay, so first up, we will have Juliet reading Monster of the Sea. Come on up, Juliet.
Ka. The monster hold the birds. Flying in the sky over the ocean. Just moved to a new part of the ocean with his mom and dad. I think I need a new friend. Laka thought. Laka was a blue bear monster of the sea. He thought his friend had to be the same species. Mom, can I go on an adventure to find a new friend? Asked Laka. Mom excitedly said yes. Go have fun and come back for dinner. He swam into the Atlantic Ocean to find a new friend. Of a sudden, a storm blew in the water, shook like an earthquake. So he swam into a cave. Who had entered the cave of doom? Questioned Octopus. I'm Laka. Would you like to be my best friend? Said Laka in a scared voice. No, now swim away far. Forever, demanded Octopus. Then Laka swam away quickly. He bumped right into Shark. My name is Laka. What's your name? Shark replied, my name is Shark. Do you want to be my friend? Shark said yes. Shark swam home with Laka. Laka realized you can be different and be friends. They were best friends forever.
Great job. Okay, Krista, thank you. Okay, next up is Juniper. Come on up. You have your story, right? Okay, come on up. Oh yeah, we gotta put that somewhere. Let me get. Okay, go ahead.
Fox and the Cat's Tail by me, Juniper. Once there was a fox. The fox went on a long, long journey and met a cat's tail. The cat's tail swayed in the winds. And the fox said, my name is Swift. What is yours? My name is Whoosh, because I whoosh around in the wind. Would you like to be friends? Yes. Would you like to be friends? Said Swift. Yes, said Whoosh. Oh, it's almost winter. I should get hibernating. Said Swift. Do you? Whoosh, do you? No. Plants just stay here, and in the winter they go all brown and droopy. But in the spring they'll be all blooming. Said Whoosh. Would you like to spend one more day with me? Said Swift. Yes, said Whoosh. What would you like to do today? What would you like to do tomorrow? Today is the last day of fall. We can play together, said Swift. So then they played for like 10 hours. And then the fox went to sleep. And the cat was all alone until spring. Do, 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 do. Now it's spring, said Swift. Yes, it is, said Whoosh. Now we can play. The end.
Good job. Take that. You want to take your story? Okay. Excellent. Now we have Lillian, who will read Detective Cat and the Missing Dog Food.
Detective Cat and the Missing Dog Food. In the land of animals, there was a small cottage with a dog named Rosie. One morning, when it was breakfast time, Rosie went to get her dog food, but found there was no more left. Rosie called Detective Cat to help her solve the mystery. Detective Cat arrived and asked Rosie to see her food bowl. Detective Cat saw footprints by the food bowl, and she took out her sheet of paws to help her figure out what animal made the footprints. Detective Cat figured out the footprints were a raccoon. Detective Cat followed the footprints into the forest and hid behind a tree. Then she ran forward and hid behind another tree. That way, no one would see her. When Detective Cat reached the raccoon's den, she found mountains of dog food. Raccoon Robber had been stealing from the whole neighborhood because he didn't like dogs. Detective Cat pounced at the raccoon, but he got away. Fortunately, Rosie was waiting outside and handcuffed the raccoon. Detective Cat put Robber Raccoon in jail, and it's another mystery solved.
Hey, good job. Okay, and Benjamin will read The Adventures of Ben and Lion. You've got your story. Okay, good.
The Adventures of Ben and Lion by Benjamin. Construction worker Ben loved being a construction worker, but he took a break to go to Kenya in Africa. He wanted to see the lions. He met a lion. The lion told Ben about a boy named Cephas who walked 15 miles to get water. He couldn't go to school because he had to walk so far. Cephas wanted to go to school so he could learn and have a job. Ben decided to teach him about being a construction worker. Lion wanted to be a construction worker too. Cephas asked Ben if he could dig a well near his house. They got a drill rig. Ben, Cephas, and Lion took turns driving it. They dug a hole with the drill rig. It took a very long time because the hole had to be 200 feet deep. They put cement in it. They put a pump in so they could pump water in buckets. Cephas had water close to his house, and he had time to go to school. He was happy. Ben and Lion worked together to dig wells for other people so they could have water near their houses. Now they could go to school.
Do you want me to read that part?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Oh, wait. I like this part. It's about the author. Ben loves lions and trucks. He loves building things with Daddy. He also loves looking at maps, playing outside, and reading. Ben writes letters to a boy named Cephas who lives in Africa. Great job. Okay, so congratulations, all kindergartners. We'll take a moment now. So if you are part of the kindergarten family members, you can come on up and grab their pictures. Benjamin, I know you. Take that, and we're going to stand up to the edge. And then Haley. Okay, when you're done, all the winners can come down this way. You're going to get your prizes. Okay, so head down the stairs.
My mom wants my book.
Okay, at the end, okay. While they are doing that, I wanted to share a fact about this contest. The contest began as the Reading Rainbow Young Writers and Illustrators Contest in 1995. It was developed by the creators of Reading Rainbow, which was our station called WNED-TV at the time. That's why we love it so much. The contest, like the television program, was designed to encourage a love of reading in children. While it was the Reading Rainbow contest, it was a national contest, so all of the local station winners would be submitted to a national round of judging at that time. Okay, so now it is time for first grade. Can we have those authors up on stage? That is Arjun, Cole, Nyla, and Yeshaya. Come on up. Okay, so we will start with Arjun, who will read Fluffy and Nutty Best Friends.
Do I have to read the title?
No, you don't have to. Turn around.
Once upon a time, in a bright green forest lived a little bunny named Fluffy. Fluffy's home was a tiny hut made of little twigs, branches, and leaves under an oak tree. One day, Fluffy hopped into the forest for an egg festival. He had lots of fun in the egg hunt, but when he was going home, he hopped too far and he was lost in the woods. Fluffy was scared and confused in the deep forest. Then he met a friendly squirrel named Nutty. Nutty said, "Hi, Fluffy. Why do you look sad?" Fluffy responded, "I'm lost." "Don't worry," Nutty cheered him. "I will help you find your way home." Nutty climbed onto the top of a tree and looked around. "Hop that way," he said, pointing with his paw. Fluffy hopped and hopped, following Nutty's directions. Finally, he saw his beautiful tiny home. "Hooray! Thank you, Nutty," Fluffy said. Nutty smiled. "Friends help each other. Do you want to play?" "Sure," said Fluffy, clapping his paws. And from then on, they played every day, hopping and climbing together in the sunny forest and became best friends. The end.
Good job. Go ahead. Okay, next up is Cole.
The Blue Monkey by Colton Sosie. Once there was a boy who lived really close to the jungle. One day he went into the jungle and found a blue monkey. He had never seen a blue monkey before. The monkey said, "What is your name?" The boy was surprised that the monkey could talk. "My name is Connor," he replied. The two of them became best friends. They decided to climb and swing in trees. As they were swinging, Connor got lost in the jungle. It started raining. He was worried that he would never find his home again. The rain turned into a thunderstorm. Connor was scared. The monkey said, "Follow me," and led Connor to the monkey's home. After the thunderstorm stopped, Connor found his home, but he was going to miss the blue monkey. But then Connor said that the blue monkey could stay, but he had to ask his mom first. His mom said, "That's fine with me." Connor was happy that the blue monkey could stay with him. Every day they went into the jungle together, but this time he brought a compass his mom gave him.
Good job. Good job. Okay, next up is Nyla with Bonnie and Dottie.
Not Nyla.
It's Nilla, sorry.
Once upon a time, there was a ladybug named Bonnie. She was a very kind ladybug. Bonnie lived under a peach tree. She had 3 beautiful dots on each wing. Then one day, Bonnie looked out the window and saw 4 butterflies with luggages in their hands, heading for a peach house on the tree. She went outside to introduce her. She knocked on the door, and Mommy Butterfly opened the door. She said, "Come in." Bonnie went inside with her. The butterfly said, "You can call me Mrs. Butterfly, and I want you to meet my daughter, Dottie." She also asked what was her name. Bonnie said, "I'm Bonnie." Dottie met Bonnie, and Bonnie met Dottie's sister, Mia. Bonnie asked Mrs. Butterfly, "Can I play with Dottie in my house?" "Of course you can," said Mrs. Butterfly. So Bonnie took Dottie to her house. They played chess, sorry, Monopoly, and trade. They even played in the garden. So at 8:30 p.m., Bonnie dropped Dottie at her house. They became best friends and had playdates every Sunday.
Good job. Okay, now we have Yeshaya. She will be reading Super Shia Helps the City.
Super Shia saved the city. Invisible, not invisible. Once there was somebody who was selling poisonous food. His name was Captain Chef. Captain Chef was a mean guy. He was selling poisonous soup to make the city sick because he wanted money. Ha 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 ha. Meanwhile, I'm with my friend. By the way, my name is Shia, and my best friend is named Isabel. One day, Isabel and I were playing together like we always do. Stop flying! She gets my superhero suit. Oh, I forgot. I'm a superhero. Okay, sorry, back to the story. I turned on my super button that makes me fly. How I became Super Shia. This is me. And, wait, no. This is me right here. One more thing. I know about Captain Chef from the news. I found his restaurant location on my computer. My friends are Isabel, Keisha, and Christian helped me. We fly together. Then we turned invisible. We looked around for the poisonous soup, and we find it in the kitchen, back of the kitchen. Where is the soup? Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Where is my soup? This belongs in the trash. We dumped the soup in the trash outside. Captain Chef has no idea. I call the police and tell them about Captain Chef. The police put him in jail for the rest of his life. Get me out of here.
The city cheers for my friends and me. The end.
Good job. Good job. Okay, we're going to take a photo op. Congratulations, all first graders. So we'll pause for families. Okay, when you're all set, you can come on, head down the stairs and get your prizes. It's time for another contest fact. When Reading Rainbow was no longer airing, PBS Kids agreed to help the contest continue using the same original format. First, it was called the PBS Kids Go Writers Contest, and then it was renamed the PBS Kids Writers Contest in 2014. It remained a national contest for a while, but when PBS Kids was unable to manage it nationally, local stations continued to manage the contest in their own communities like we do today. Now it's time for second graders. So can we have Elliot, Serena C., Vivian, and Nora come on up to the stage? Okay, so first up, we have Elliot with the mischievous missing tortoise.
The mischievous missing tortoise. Copy lettuce. Guy was a tortoise who lived in a house with a family. Her best friend, a bearded dragon named Tobias. Copy was a very mischievous tortoise who loved to hide from her owners. She would hide under tops and shrubs. She loved to play hide and seek. One day, Cappy was hiding under the shrubs and decided to escape. She was spotted of her backyard. Adios, amigos, I'm out of here. As she walked down the street, she walked to the creek to explore and meet new friends. First Cappy saw a rabbit. Let's race, said the rabbit. They both ran as fast as they could. Cappy won the race. Good racing, Cappy said to the rabbit, and the rabbit hopped away. Cappy was tired, so she hid under a bush near some rocks to take a nap. Then she felt something. A deer tripped over her. I'm sorry I tripped over you. I thought you were a rock, said the deer. It's okay, I do look like a rock, said Cappy. As she got up and started walking again. It was getting dark, and it started to rain. Cappy got scared. I want to go home, she shouted in the rain. I want to go home. Then she saw
saw butterflies. It was a family and Tobias with flashlights looking for the boy Elliot, picked her up and carried her home. Gabby learned that she should never run away again. The best place to be is to be home because her family and the Pies are the best family in the world. Tobias, Gabby, Ellie, Pappy, Mommy, Noah. About the author, Ellie Pena Draper. Ellie is 7 years old and is in second grade. He's originally from Brooklyn, New York. He loves to read about dinosaurs, gems, and animals. Ellie came up with this idea for the story when the real copy escaped in the summer of 2023. She was found safe and sound. The real copy also has a bearded dragon, best friend named Tobias.
Excellent. Good job. I'll give it to you after, okay? You can go sit. Okay, next up we have Serena, who will read The Purple Cheetah.
The Purple Cheetah. One day, a girl and her family were going to the zoo. They went to see the cheetahs, but the zookeeper told them that the cheetah had escaped. They needed to find it before it got hurt. The girl decided to help. When they found the cheetah, they chased after it. The girl touched it and suddenly could run super fast. Because of her speed, she caught the cheetah and brought it back to the exhibit. When her family went back home, she showed them her superpowers. She said, "I need a name. I will name myself the Purple Cheetah." A couple days later, her family went on a walk. She realized she could not run as fast as she could at the zoo. She worried she would never run that fast again. That afternoon, she went outside and saw family. She looked up and saw a brick from a roof begin to tilt that would fall on the family. It tipped lower and lower until it fell. She didn't want the family to get hurt, and without realizing, she sped forward, catching the brick before it hit anyone. She had superpowers again, but as she walked home, suddenly she sped the wrong way. After speeding around town, she got lost. She didn't know where she was because of how fast she had gone. She went through the park, past the library, and into her neighborhood. Finally, she found her home. She went inside but was afraid to go out because she didn't want to get lost again. After weeks inside, she had started to go outside. She tried running again and couldn't run fast. She tried to figure out what was happening. Then she realized how to control her powers. When the brick was falling, she could go super fast because someone was in danger. But when she was taking a stroll with her family, she couldn't run as fast. She could only run fast when she was needed, not when she just wanted to. She now knew how to control her powers. She was the Purple Cheetah.
Okay, next we have Vivian, who will read The Young Spy. Okay, of your own. All right, let me just get this one out of the way. Left, there you go.
The Young Spy by Vivian. It was 1781. Vivi was excited because George Washington was coming to Williamsburg to prepare the troops for siege of Yorktown. Vivi always wanted to be a soldier, and she was excited to tell Washington she was ready to join his army. He said she couldn't because she was a little girl, but she could be a spy. No one would suspect her because she was so young. Vivi told Washington that Uncle Philip was a loyalist and he was not very good at keeping secrets, so Vivi could easily get information from him to give to Washington. George Washington told Vivi about the Caesar cipher so they could write in code. One day when Vivi was bringing her message to General Washington, she was stopped on the road by 2 British officers. "Where are you going?" they demanded. "I'm going to the apothecary for Mother's cough." "Why are there so many papers in your basket?" asked the British soldier. "It's a note from my friend Charlotte." "It's in code, she's a spy," shouted the British soldier. Vivi was terrified. Would she be killed like the other spy? "It's just a code me and Charlotte made up so the boys don't ruin our plans for a tea party for our dolls." The other spy laughed. No way is she a spy. She's just a little girl. Let's just let her go to the apothecary." Vivi watched the troops drill on the palace green as she walked to George Swift's house where General Washington was staying while he was in Williamsburg. Vivi found George Washington looking out the window watching his troops. She gave the letter to him. He said she did a good job. A few weeks later, Vivi got a note from General Washington telling her they had won the Battle of Yorktown. It was a big victory that turned the war around. There was a big celebration with flaying the cressets, fiddle music, and dancing. Vivi did not tell anyone she was a spy, but she smiled to herself, knowing she played a big part in the victory. About the author. Vivi loves going to Colonial Williamsburg. Her favorite thing is talking with the soldiers. She loves going to the Powder magazine. She went there almost every day. She got to drill with the soldiers, and the sergeant even made her corporal. She went to the Wythe House where George Washington stayed when he was in Williamsburg. And she got to look out the same window George Washington liked looking out, watching his troops drill on the palace green. She loves reading about spies, and she even made her own Caesar cipher for sending secret messages.
Very cool. Good job. I love that. You can hang on to that. Okay, and now Nora will be reading Attention for Rose.
Thank you.
Got it.
Attention for Rose. Rose is a flower. She is very beautiful and gets all the attention, probably because she is the only one in the garden. At least she was for a little while, because soon other flowers grow and they got all the attention. At least that's what it felt like for Rose. Rose was very, very angry. "No fair," she shouted. She didn't notice that she was still actually getting attention. Not as much, but she was still getting what she needs. It was sad for everyone. Rose used to be happy. But when the other flowers came, she seemed to change. She felt so sad that she couldn't sleep at bedtime. Whenever Rose didn't feel right, she called Farmer. So she did. "Farmer, oh Farmer." "Yes, Rose," replied Farmer. "I don't feel right," said Rose. "What do you mean?" asked the farmer. "Ever since the other flowers arrived, I don't feel right," said Rose. "Ah, I see," said the farmer. "I think you are jealous." "Jelly? What do you mean I'm jelly?" asked the rose. "Jealous, not jelly," said the farmer, giggling. Jealous is a feeling of being mad at someone because you don't have something they have. I love all my flowers the same and will always take care of you. You should take time and think about this promise. "Oh, I am jealous," said Rose. "Good night, farmer. Good night, Rose." The next day, when it was breakfast time, Rose happily let the other flowers get breakfast first. And soon she had made best friends with the other flowers. The best part was she was grateful for what she had. The end. You belong among the wildflowers. Group hug.
Okay, good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, congratulations, second graders. Okay, time for some more photos up here. Thank you. Okay, when you're all set, the winners, you can head down this way and get your prizes. And I have one last contest fact. So the last year, the contest was the Reading Rainbow Young Authors and Illustrators Contest, was 2009. And that year, locally, we had the highest number of entries of any contest year. It was over 700 local stories. So my goal is for us to get back up to that number of entries. And our last group tonight are the third graders. If they can come on up on stage, we have Violet, Raina, Amelia, and Serena Kay. Come on up. First to read is Violet with the story of Ice Evil and Flower Girl.
One day, Flower Girl was reading in her farmhouse when her glitter alarm went off. Oh no, she thought, I bet it is Ice Evil, the world's worst villain. She put on her super suit, got her wand, then she was on her way. She was on her way. Flower Girl got her sack from the flower barn. Her sack, she had a watering can, hay, a rope, a shovel, snacks, and her water bottle. The barn was next to her house. Her sack had everything she needed for an emergency. Then she got her bike and sped off. Then she stopped because Ice Evil was in her way. Ice Evil, what are you doing now? Asked Flower Girl. This time I am making it winter, said Ice Evil. Mwahaha, you'll never stop me. In fact, I will with my sword, said Flower Girl. Then with her wand, she made her sword. It was beautiful. With her sword, Flower Girl chopped up Ice Evil's wand. Then Ice Evil melted. Without her wand, she turns into a puddle right there on the spot. Flower Girl took out her watering can out of her sack. She lifted the puddle into her watering can. It is just to water my flowers on the farm, she said. Turning around, she watered the flowers. The water from Ice Evil made the flowers turn frosty. The flowers shimmered in the sunlight. Uh-oh, thanks, Flower Girl. What could this mean? Sarah, Emma, time for dinner. We are going out tonight, called Mom from the house. To be continued.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Good job. Okay, next up is Raina reading Raina's Secret.
Raina's Secret. It was Raina's first day of third grade in a new school. She walked into the classroom and everyone was looking at her weirdly. She wondered why. She heard the children whispering that she was so small. They called her names like Shorty and laughed. All day she felt sad, but knew she had to ignore their comments because she had a secret. At recess, all the children were playing outside. Raina got the courage and asked them if she could play too. They said, "No, you're not strong enough." She went to sit on a bench and thought, maybe I should tell them my secret. After recess, the teacher announced to the class that she wanted them to bring something important to school on Friday and talk about why the item is important. Raina thought, this will be the perfect time to reveal my secret. On Friday, Raina had her item in her backpack. One boy started making fun of her, saying she was too small and weak to carry anything. All the other kids started laughing hysterically. Raina had enough. No more bullying. She was ready. She raised her hand and asked if she could present her item. Raina went up to the front of the class with her backpack in hand. She started speaking. "Hi, my name is Raina. I'm new to your class. I know you think I'm small and weak, but I have been taking Taekwondo classes since I was 4 years old. This summer I earned my black belt." She pulled out her black belt from her backpack and everyone was in shock. One boy yelled, "If you're a black belt, show us your kicks." Raina started performing her Taekwondo patterns in front of her class. They were amazed. The kids in her class cheered and said they were sorry for making fun of her. Raina said, "Although I am small, I am strong with might. That is my secret. I always believe in myself." You can be strong too if you believe in yourself, inspired by true events.
Good job. Okay, now Amelia will be reading Jan, the Spotless Panda.
Jan the Spotless Panda by Amelia. Once upon a time, there was a panda bear named Jan. He lived in China with all his other panda bear friends, but he wasn't like any of the other panda bears in the bamboo forest. Jan didn't have black spots on his furry body. The only color on him was white. Some panda bears teased him and said, "You look nothing like a real panda." "Do I look like a panda?" Jan asked his friends. Nope," said the panda, interrupting Jan's friends. "In fact, I think I might change your name to Jan the Spotless Panda." Jan frowned, but the panda just laughed. Jan turned around and ran back to his house. He couldn't stand another second being teased. That night, Jan dreamt about a fairy. The fairy told him he needed to be brave and that he needed to stand up for himself. "I can do that," Jan told the fairy in his dream. "I sure hope so," said the fairy. Then she disappeared. Jan opened his eyes. It was morning. Remembering the fairy's words, Jan hopped out of bed and brushed his teeth. He ate a piece of bamboo for breakfast, then he raced out the door. Jan planned to go up to the panda that had teased him and make him say sorry. A couple minutes later, Jan found him sitting on the ground eating a bamboo stick. "Excuse me," Jan said. "You need to say sorry for teasing me." "Yeah. Last night I tripped and fell into a mud puddle. A group of pandas started laughing at me. It didn't feel good to be laughed at. Can you forgive me?" Jan smiled. "Of course." So everything in the bamboo forest was well again, and they all lived happily ever after. The end.
Okay, the last story tonight will be The Adventure of Superburger, read by Serena. Okay, go ahead, you can. I'm sorry.
The Adventure of Super Burger by Serena. On Planet Yum Yum, Super Burger and Cheerleading Donut were enjoying their day. Far off in the French fry forest, Flying Soda Bug finds a mysterious dead pickle. Flying Soda Bug knows this is a job for Super Burger. Super Burger was flirting with Cheerleading Donut when up in the sky appeared the cheddar cheese signal. Super Burger flies to the top of the building to meet Flying Soda Bug. Together they head to the scene of the crime. Super Burger is investigating the scene of the crime and he smells a weird odor. Super Burger immediately recognizes the smell of his sworn enemies, Mr. Cereal and Spoiled Milk. Mr. Cereal and Spoiled Milk finally finish building their evil breakfast tray. After many experiments, they finally succeeded in opening a portal to the breakfast aisle in Wegmans. Super Burger catches the villains red-handed from shooting them with his ketchup I-beams. Super Burger stops their evil plan and sends them back to the refrigerator. To honor Super Burger for saving Planet Yum Yum, Cheerleading Donut and the other citizens have a big party. Super Burger and Cheerlead Serena, stop playing with your food. Fine. This really is a super burger.
Great job. Great job. Okay, congratulations, third graders. We'll take another moment for photos. Okay, so if you are done, you can head down and get your prizes. And before we end tonight, I wanted to point out there's a QR code on the back of tonight's program or on the screen if you're watching at home. We would appreciate it if you took a few moments to complete the survey about this year's contest and tonight's celebration. We really do welcome the feedback. So I want to give one more round of applause to all of our winners here tonight, and thank you to the families and friends who support these young authors. Thank you to everyone watching the live stream. We are glad you could join us too. Good night.